finals just had a ton of developer updates. We gotta go over some of the new stuff that's coming out, some of the stuff that's been happening behind the scenes. Additionally, things about the ranked rewards, we'll go over leaderboard stuff, as well as unfortunately a lot of the drama that's been happening there. Some additional last minute mentionables as always from the community. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, brothers? Should be back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the finals. First up, we have an update from the developers as well as community managers. We'll jump into the details there, that way that helps us cover what's going on with the drama behind the scenes. So as usual, first up we have an update here from Oscar. Now this is quite a long one, so buckle in. He said it's finally time to hand out those long-awaited ranked rewards from Season 3. The reason it's taking a bit of time is that we performed a final sweep of the leaderboard to ensure that all players received the rewards that they earned fair and square. They took some additional time to properly test the reward flow multiple times to ensure that everything worked like it should. The ranked experience during Season 3 wasn't perfect, and we've honed in on several methods that we know have impacted the integrity of the leaderboard. They went through all matches and identified the games where players were affected by cheaters. Players who unfairly lost RS have been compensated, and players who unfairly gained RS have been corrected. To clarify, finding yourself on the lower position now than before does not necessarily mean that you were corrected. Rather, other people might have been compensated to a degree which put them above you on the leaderboard. Alongside the rewards being handed out, we've also published the final leaderboard for Season 3. You can check that out here at that link. That's going to come into play in a bit here, but if you want to check out that link, I'll leave it down below in the description. Running a live shooter is a constant learning journey, and we're adamant to continue to improve the ranked experience and ensure it's both more fair and fun in the future. Last up here, they want to thank you all for reporting those cheaters, and don't stop doing that, of course, and also thank you for the patience. There's another update from Oscar, but I'm going to go over that after we get into all the details here with the leaderboards as well as the ranked rewards. So there's a lot of drama around this right now, as there's some weird details around this that's quite murky. As they said, RS has been compensated or adjusted depending on what happened with cheaters. But first up, to kind of go over this, we have a new thread that was started over on the finals Discord. Now this thread has since been locked, as well as several others. However, this one here, it says number 1 stolen and no rollback for other players who went against hackers and losing RS. V Serious points out here that last season of TA Ranked, he was number 1. After the cleanup of the leaderboards, they saw a lot of people lose or gain RS. They didn't know if it was intended. Limesalt managed to get back 1.5k worth of RS, while Juker and Lasagna didn't get back anything after previous posts of them versing a hacker and losing more than 200 games worth of RS. Moreover, some legit players lost around 1 to 20,000 RS points, and the current official leaderboard needs to be inspected again. Now again, these are his words, not mine, so I want to point that out here. We don't know the full details here. There's a lot of people pointing out different cheaters, but I'm not going to showcase anything because it's kind of like witch hunt territory. Someone pointed out here that Limesalt getting 91k is equal to him winning about 700 games above the Serious. Essentially, that did not happen, or at least that's being claimed that didn't happen, and that Juker and Lasagna lost about 900, aka 500 games worth due to a bug, cheat, or server overload. This person here, Violet TV, also went from ranked 28 to 1300. There's a lot of confusion around this. There's a ton of stuff here. I'm going to try to break down what we know so far and the official things there. Now, we'll go back and use the official information and try to at least speculate what's going on there. Again, please take all of this information with a grain of salt, aside from the official announcement. However, if we do go off the official announcement, Oscar does declare and clarify that people lost or gained when they were in or when they were affected by a cheater in their lobby. Now, what I assume is they just did a blanket RS increase or even loss at certain points if a cheater was on your team or was against you on a different team. I don't want to use anybody as an example just to be safe. However, if a person did gain an X amount of games worth of RS, that was because, or seemingly because, there was a cheater in their game and not on their team. So they're just giving them the win, regardless if they did win or were close to winning. They just essentially gave them the full RS points if there was ever a cheater in their game. Now this seems very blanketed. Again, people that lost RS, if they did, seemingly that was probably because there was a cheater on your team. This seems to mean that any account that got banned or received a ban at any point during any time of the season had all of their games adjusted, and everyone in their game got adjusted for that RS. Again, this is just speculation on my part. That is not officially confirmed. That is just what I'm putting together in my brain. So please do take that with a grain of salt. That is not official information. Again, meaning that anybody that was cheating in your game that was not on your team, you instantly got the RS increase. Now, if there was a cheater or somebody that got banned during this season on your team, you got docked RS, or at least were moved on the leaderboard somewhat. So I'm not sure how to take that here. Again, some people had pointed out their leaderboard position being changed and their decrease of RS. In fact, was pointed out that people did actually lose RS. There's stuff with some region things there. Certain regions are getting hit harder than others, as there's more of a cheating community over in those regions. I'm not going to get into all that because it always creates this drama-centric thing that I just don't want to get into. It is a tiny bit unfortunate here that a lot of things are being blanketed or put that way. For example, if you're a solo queuer like myself, if I were to solo queue ranked and randomly get matched with a cheater or somebody that got banned during the season, now I lose RS on the leaderboards just because I queued into their game. Now again, this is purely for example purposes. I actually don't play ranked like that. But if you were a solo queuer and you essentially got teamed up with somebody that was cheating or that got banned during the season, you essentially lost that game null and void. At least that's what I'm putting together here. Now again, this is a double-edged sword there because really you shouldn't have quote-unquote won that game or shouldn't have had the leverage there. But that really does hinder and hurt solo players. Again, that's not confirmed. Maybe they went off parties. Maybe if you were partnered with somebody or partied up with somebody, that's only the way it applied. I'm not for sure on any of this stuff here. I'm just trying to put together what might have happened. Again, please just take everything I've said with the tiniest grain of salt, as it's probably not true, might not be true at all. It is purely me theorizing and just speculating overall. If you were affected by this leaderboard position and the stuff that was being corrected here, all the drama with that, Oscar does mention here that you can submit to the support stuff and they will check out your account. He also says on here, if one of your friends received a false positive ban that might have affected the outcome of your position, they can look if anything can be done. He also mentions here that, again, reach out to support, but without knowing your specific case or anybody's specific case. He does mention the loss of RS here, that it might become part of their ranked wins, which were earned while pre-partied with an account which was permanently banned for cheating during Season 3. But again, he doesn't know any specific case there or any other reasons as well. They do mention that you had to be partied up with them or pre-partied, so it does seem like solo queuers were safe. That would be the only example I could make that might be an issue if it was pertaining to people that weren't pre-partied. Now, Oscar does point out here that the leaderboard is final. At best, you might be able to get more information about your specific case, but to be honest, he wouldn't think so. I completely understand. They've tried their best with this here. Again, we don't know the specific details of what they did. There's just a lot of drama around that and a lot of speculation. Moving on with that though, you guys can put your thoughts below in my comment section. Try not to witch hunt or do anything crazy like that. Try not to mention specific names, just keep it civil if we can, please. As we don't know the full details of anybody's position or anything like that there. And we kind of just have to trust Embark that they did the right thing on this. And at least they even looked over the leaderboards. Other games wouldn't even have tried that. So I do appreciate them for going the extra mile with it. Next up here, we have an additional update from Oscar. They said after paying out the Season 3 ranked rewards, they received feedback and concern, which led to them finding a potential issue with the new leaderboard. This will be investigated during the weekend, and they'll update leaderboard once more on Monday if needed. So it looks like he's kind of going back on his word there where the leaderboard was final. It does look like they might be going back on the leaderboard situation one more time. So they're going to be checking that out. It's going to be investigated, and that will be published Monday if needed. Also, the missing multi-bucks from Season 3 World Tour will be paid out on Monday. They understand how important this is to get correct, so they thank you all for being patient as they work through this, and sorry for all the delays. So to kind of round out everything, they're going to look at the leaderboard one more time. Even though they said things were final, again, there was a lot of discrepancies. People were being added like 700 plus games to their winnings. It does seem like a little bit much there, but I understand if they play a lot and they encounter cheaters a lot in those higher ranked, that's probably why they're getting so many wins added. Again, try to keep things civil on this. Hopefully we do have some more updates in the future with this stuff. And with Season 4, hopefully they kind of get this system more well-rounded. That way they don't have to go back and we can trust their word for it. As always, last up here, we do have our community mentionables. And moving on to some good news. The Finals was nominated for the Golden Joystick Award for Best Multiplayer Game. It does actually have some tough competition here, with Tekken 8 and Helldivers being the two forefront runners, I would think. I'm actually surprised there's not a few other games on this list. I do think that Helldivers 2 and Tekken 8 are going to be the hardest competition, but I actually do think the Finals has a chance to take this reward home. Now, I'm going to include a link to this down below where you can vote. Even if you go to the official website, which is the Golden Joystick Awards website, it does take you to the game's radar article, so it does seem like they are the official ones that are hosting that. I'll include a link down below to both just in case. However, you should vote sometime soon because it is open now until November 1st, with the 42nd annual award ceremony happening on 21st of November. Now, with the ranked rewards discussion in this video, we actually do have some showcases with those new rewards. As for NNG on the subreddit showcases here, he has the Emerald rewards in-game. He also shows off the Season 3 Emerald Charm. But even more distinct here, we have Mr. Newt over on the subreddit, who shows off both the Ruby reward and the Emerald Reward together, calling this one the Christmas Tree AK skin. Pretty insane to get both of those in the same season and be able to showcase that on the same weapon. Now we have one last minute mentionable here, or a PSA. This person says to turn on RTX Global Illumination if you can. This does make it so that if you destroy anything or do any destruction, the light will actually make it into the room or the area that you destroyed, where before sometimes it doesn't update like that. As you can see, they showcase it here where it is still very dark even though they destroyed the roof. Now players are still highlighted with outlines, so you don't have to enable RTX, and for me actually it was enabled on the preview. I lose about 20 FPS, so I'm going to keep this one disabled for now. But if you have the system for it and you have the GPU for it, you might as well enable it if you do want to have some better lighting. Last up here though, we do have the showcase of these star models, or from the finals runway of my Discord. We have another one here from Kingist. They were showcased previously, but this is in a collaboration with one of his friends, Mage, where they do showcase off some really cool cosmetics here that mirror the Metal Gear Solid series. This really just showcases how dynamic already the finals cosmetics are. I love seeing these cosplays here, so shout out to Kingist and Mage. But jumping over, we have another one here from Leviathan with his take on the Trauma team from Cyberpunk universe. I might be a bit biased here because Cyberpunk holds a very near and dear place for me. One of my favorite games of all time, so I really like this one. Overall, it's about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuce!